Okay, in 1 minute, 30 seconds, the Modern Showcase Qualifier is starting. This is a really exciting event. 40 players looks like are going to join. Maybe we'll get one or two more. Come in. You have to qualify for this event by top 8ing a Showcase Challenge, which we did a couple months ago with Gruul, Shifting Woodlands. And I'm sure, and first place, Pro Tour qualification, Magic Online Championship qualification. Very exciting. Like, if I could play one of these every single day of my life, I would. I would play as many of these as I can. It's just cool. 40 players come in. One player comes out with an invite. One of the best tournaments you can play in competitive Magic these days. Now, I bet you're wondering, what did I pick to play? I was very seriously considering Goryo's Vengeance. I was very seriously considering Mono Blue Belcher. I was very seriously considering Amulet Titan. I was also looking at Storm. I was also looking at some Shifting Woodland decks. I was looking at Domain Zoo, too. What did I end up playing? I'm playing Boros Energy. Kind of simply put, I think the deck is just the best deck, period. I had been saying that Belcher was the best deck, but the thing is, if Boros just wins the die roll against Belcher, you just get to race them, and then you have a bunch of really premium sideboard cards you can bring in. So instead of trying to beat him, I'm joining them. This is like one of the first times I'm really ever doing this for a big event. I'm joining them instead of trying to beat them. I built a list that was supposed to be kind of favored in the mirror. I am playing 3 Bombardment, 4 Flage, only 1 Moon in the main. I'm also playing Magus of the Moon in the sideboard, which I basically never see. But one of your worst matchups is Amulet Titan, and Magus is way better than Blood Moon because of the Besaju, so that's one thing I'm doing. I'm also expecting a ton of Belcher, so I'm just playing the full force Stony Silence. Stony Silence, I think, is the best sideboard card in the format against them. I've seen a lot of Boros players playing White Orchid Phantom instead, but this is I just would just basically never want to cast a White Orchid Phantom instead of a Stony Silence. So it's not super exciting, but what could be exciting is winning this event. So the thing has started. Let's get in there. Okay, we're here in round 1 of the Modern Showcase Qualifier. My opponent isn't quite here yet. It's been about a minute. Okay, now they're here. I've kept my 7 card hand. Very easy keep, I think. Going to go turn 1 Sacred Foundry so the Arena of Glory enters untapped. And I'm going to cast a Guide of Souls. What are we up against? Should be 6 rounds of Swiss. Then cut to top 8. What do you get for top 8ing? 50 treasure chests, an avatar, and a foundation set, and some leaderboard points. Okay. Expect a lot of players to take their time on their turns here. Not that we had much of a decision so far, but I kind of expect to, and I'm not sure yet, I expect to probably hire an editor to edit this down for YouTube. So you might not hear me saying this right now. Okay, we are up against Belcher here. Yeah, but I may select an editor to help me cut out a lot of the lag here. Okay, so they have a Shoal pitching Thunder Trap Trainer. We're getting in for 1 here. Shoal is very important for Belcher to just slow you down here. Like them countering the Johnny cuts a lot of time off my clock, so this is a pretty good turn for them. Probably goes without saying somewhat. Now I think I should be playing Ocelot Pride instead of the Flage so that I can get a little bit more energy going. And I think that I should save the Static Prison. Oh, sorry. Of course, you can't cast Static Prison to just get energy. There has to be a target for it, so no conversation there. All right, let's go ahead and get another energy counter here. Going to surveil end of turn. I'm not going to be F6ing on turns like this where I have mana up. I would usually do this on stream to increase the pace of play for the ease of you, the viewer. But here, in this very high stakes event, I will be bluffing that I have stuff. Okay, so hopefully my opponent doesn't go Whir into Belch me. That would obviously be not so ideal. At the moment, we should have lethal next turn. So this is going to be... I think I go in the Ocelot Pride in these spots. 5 down to 7, then one more token. Oh, I guess we will need to have... I guess the Flage gives me lethal. They do have the worst. So my opponent needs to have untapped land plus Belcher, or they need to have Tamashi plus... we're not too tough for them to kill me here. Okay, and they do have it. So we unfortunately are down a game. I do think Belcher is favored game 1. Us not having the turn 4 kill is kind of tough. I don't think we would have had it if the Ajani had lived. All right, let's see if they have any interesting tech. Game 1 at least. They're playing 1 Spell Snare, 2 Spell Snare, 1 Pact of Negation. I only see 3 Flare of Denials, but there's a good chance they have the 4th in their hand. Nothing else. I like that they're playing some snares. When I was playing Belcher, I had 2 or 3. Okay. Well, this kind of stinks. I thought that I had cut the 3rd Deafening Silence for the 4th Stony Silence. I think I even showed that on my deck tech. I even feel very confident I dropped and rejoined with this. I'm not exactly sure how this happened. It's not the biggest difference because Deafening Silence is actually pretty solid against them. It's so like one thing is like Deafening Silence oftentimes acts like Aurum Chant does against Belcher. A lot of the Boros Energy decks play Aurum's Chant as like a reactive way you could respond to the Lotus Bloom. But if you Deafening Silence, they cast a Lotus Bloom and then they just kind of can't do anything. So it's kind of like a proactive Deafening Silence. It's or proactive Aurum's Chant. But I did want to play the 4th Stony Silence, so that is what it is, I guess. In this matchup, so you're gonna cut the rings. I also bring in the Magus of the Moons. I think I'm going down to 1 or 0 Flage. I trim at least the 4th Static Prison. Like you want to be able to like kill Belcher when they tap out for it, especially with the Deafening Silence plus Static Prison is kind of a nice combo too, where they'll play like Bloom or they'll play just Belcher and you get to Static Prison, but you don't really want to draw 2 copies. And then I've been going down to like 4 removal spells for Tamashi, and Bolt is a bit better, obviously, because it goes face. Still playing the Flage, still playing all my cheap aggressive creatures. Let's go. So we get to be on the play again. This was a fetch land where I could surveil. I would probably keep. It feels very bad to mulligan a hand like this, but seems like we kind of have to. Okay, I think that we can afford to keep this hand on the play. It may be a little bit dicey on the draw. My opponent's also on a mulligan to 6, which makes me feel a bit more comfortable to keep, like, just a Magus, basically. Now, Magus doesn't really beat, it doesn't really, do so much against, Belcher plus Lotus Bloom. Or, I guess, just Belcher by itself. But it does mean that they can't cast Tamashi and then also use Lotus Bloom to make white mana to activate Tamashi. It means they can't really cast any of their spells. It's a, creature, so it's providing pressure. It doesn't get Force of Negation if they have Force of Negation, although that's maybe less important. But it does mulligan to 5 here. I've been liking the moons of the matchup, but they definitely are not as high quality as Stony Silence. Would I have had the turn 4 kill if they didn't show the Ajani? I'm not sure. I would have been able to jump a turn sooner on the Guide of Souls. Potentially could have flipped the Ajani. Doesn't really matter so much, I guess. They do have a Bloom. And they play an untapped Seagate Reborn. Maybe an Unable to Scream. Basic Plains is a good pickup here. It could just be a Spell Snare. I think I do have to cast this. It's interesting that they're not just snapping this off if they do have the snare. It seems like they probably do. Because I would think that the snare is not so important necessarily for just countering Stony Silence or whatever, but that it's in a large way really important so that they just don't die to my turn 4 kill or whatever. But let's go ahead and get in with the Ocelot Pride. Make another token. I've got 6 points of power in play. It's turn 2. Gonna get them down to 10 next turn. So if I haste this Magus the Moon, this is 6, 8. Yeah, that's a 2-turn clock, so that seems correct to me. It could be a bit harder to counter this because it costs 3 instead of 2. Yeah, if they had Snare and they chose not to counter the Raptor, I don't know. I'm not sure what that pause was. Okay, very fast game 2. And that is the easiest game to win, of course, in this matchup. This is a very common modern dynamic. Fair deck loses to combo deck game 1, wins game 2 on the play very easily. Then game 3 on the draw is like the really closer game. Just giving a thought here if there's anything I would like to change about my strategy. You know, Ghost Vacuum is pretty good against Tamashi. I wonder if Ghost Vacuum is better than Galvanic Discharge. This is not something I haven't been doing this, and I don't love to pivot my strategy. But it just could be, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like that I could just deploy it at any time, and it kind of cleanly checks the Tamashis. We still have like 3 other answers that kill it, plus the Stackers and some more. But we don't have to hold up mana for it necessarily, which does seem kind of nice. Oh, sorry. And this is kind of the problem with changing your sideboard plans the day of. Like, you can get like really like focused and like you can get like a little too locked in sometimes. But I'd alredy decided I didn't want to do this because like the Ghost Vacuums conflict with the Stony Silences. But so it's probably just better in general to have your plans ready to go and then, you know, jam the day of. Okay, I don't want to keep this hand. It has no lands. Hard decisions here. They keep 7 this time. But we have a Stony Silence. I like to like think for a long time too, in like tournament settings or like pretend to think where obviously I'm keeping this hand, but if I wait like 30 seconds on it, they might think my hand's kind of weak. Plenty of clock to play with here. I'm just not sure if I want to put back the Static Prison. I think I want to put back the second Guide of Souls. The Static Prison could help me answer like a portable hole on the Stony Silence. And I think this, you know, because I have the Stony, it in theory could be a more interactive game. They have Shoal. Another turn 1 Bloom. I think that's all 3 games. So I think because I've drawn Magus, I really do just want to play Stony Silence this turn so I could try to go, you know, hate piece into hate piece here. I don't really think this Stony Silence is going to resolve, but because they played this untapped. Yeah, tough. I mean, I don't know. I think playing around Disruption here is pretty tough. The Magus is, you know, just not that good against the Lotus Bloom draws either, which is another problem. We'll see what we draw. We'll see what they have. To some extent, too, it's like in these matchups, as like the Blue Belcher player, you just have to draw pretty hot. Like you have to draw like turn 4 kill a lot of the time, plus disruption piece, or turn 5 kill plus 2 disruption pieces. You have to curve out well. And it's just not quite as consistent as you want it to be, which is kind of why I decided to be on this side of the field today. They play a tapped Bien Veil. So Magus is in some ways could just be bad here because my opponent could have any land plus Belcher to kill me. But I cut off Tamashi, I cut off any blue spells. It's also like the only card in my hand that really does anything, so I'm casting it. And if also my opponent has Belcher plus no land, then we can Static Prison. We'll see what happens. I would hate for them to just like have tap land plus Belcher. Like, I guess I should let this resolve to win the game, but they're thinking about 0 mana spells. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. That they have another one of these potentially, but like I could just play this untapped and belch me here. Not much you could do, you know. We drew our sideboard card, it got countered. And we could have played around disruption specifically, but they also have, you know, snare, they have shoal, and like I think we want to go just lock piece into lock piece. Not exactly rocket science. Our opponent does belch me here. I think we do still have the opportunity to win the next 5 matches and get in there. I cast this Magus to the Moon. Only 2 minutes ago. It feels like much longer. Okay, they do Jawari Disruption. Looks like they have a Tamashi because they crack for white mana here. Probably going to lose. Just going to F6 at this point. So if they had Belcher, I think they would have just cast it right there because they had exactly enough mana. So we have to hope that they're going to cast the Seagate Restoration and just draw a lot of cards. Or I guess... okay, never mind. I guess they wanted to do with some mana up here. It is actually important for us to take a look at their deck list because it's possible we play against this opponent again in the top 8. We can see how they sideboarded. 1 Unable to Scream, 1 Force of Negation. Another Unable to Scream. Another Unable to Scream. It looks like they went up on Spell Snares too. Okay, well, very tough game. Counter your lock piece, kill you turn 4. And this is, of course, like why Belcher is so popular. It has these draws against Boros. For me, in my testing, I just wasn't happy like how consistently you can do this, but, you know, At the end of the day, you're going to be on one side of the field. This is the side we were on today. I will see y'all in round number 2. We probably have to win out to top 8 and to make this event, unfortunately. Okay, so we are on the draw of round 2 against Respect the Cat. Trying to reveal my Gigantha. And Magic Online is Magic Onlining. Okay, let's go. Pretty awkward hand. Like, it's obviously great to have Guiding Raptor. We have both Elegant Parlors. I think we just have to mulligan this on 7. Not a great 5. Or sorry, not a great 6. I think I'm going to go to 5, actually, on the draw. Yeah, this hand's way better. I think my 5 cards will probably be Windswept Heath, Guide of Souls, Antraptor, Ring. Possible to keep like second fetch land here. I think the Arena of Glory has enough upside though. Katria Tram. Respect the Cat likes to play a lot of like 4-color Obnath style decks. I'd be like a little surprised if that's where he ended up, but we'll see, I guess. I'm gonna cast Amped Raptor. Let's see if it resolves. It is resolved. But then main deck consigned to memory stops my Guide of Souls trigger and my Amped Raptor trigger. Very interesting. Surveil with the Thundering Falls. Yeah, I think I'd like to play the Bombardment here instead of Guide of Souls. Not exactly rocket science. Four cards in our opponent's hand. Kind of nice to have the Guide of Souls bombardment or binding instead of the bombardment. Also nice to see no ring here. Would love to be able to deploy a Flage this turn. Yeah, still no third land. Obviously, you know, awkward mold to 5 on the draw here. Tournament's not exactly going super smooth. The guide does just resolve, but opponent's got 4 cards in their hand. Scalding Tart in the graveyard, surveilled off of Meticulous Archive. Interesting upkeep stop. I don't think that was there before. I don't know if I'm supposed to read too much into that, though. And I really want to deploy Flage this turn, so I'm not committing as much into a sweeper. So did I draw another bombardment? All right, let's go ahead and attack. I will be casting Ocelot Pride. Okay, so Solitude probably wants to be targeting, yeah, the Amped Raptor. Guess I didn't play around Solitude particularly well, huh? But I guess we are going to be sacking here. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. I play an Ocelot Pride. Kind of sad because this is like one of the only like really, really poor draws here. Just like most lands and most spells are better. Maybe another copy of Ring. Okay, let's get in with the Ocelot. At least this connects. I'm gonna go and play a second bombardment here. If our opponent's on Wrath the Skies and we play into this, you know, it is what it is. But wow, okay, that's an absolute win to eat a hardcast Force of Negation. Being on the draw, 23 lands, multiple 5, not hit your third land by like turn 7 or whatever. It's pretty tough. I guess that was my turn 6. This is our opponent's turn 7. Really do not want to see Flage into the graveyard here. It seems like that's not the case. A graveyard's a leyline binding. Does not seem like my opponent's hand is very good, thankfully. My hand is quite strong if I can go run or land, or if I can draw any proactive spell, which is most of my deck. And this is one of those cards. Yeah, I don't think main phase Flage does anything about a Solitude, so let's just get in there. Get our opponent down to 10. And the Flage, of course, is worth 1 extra damage with the Goblin Bombardment, because you can sacrifice the Flage to Bombardment before it dies to Evoke. So in theory, our opponent is going to be going down to 5 life points here, and then we're going to have another cat token, and so effectively my opponent is at 2. Even a ring is not going to be so good for our opponent. I wonder if how long the verdicts has been sat on here. So our opponent's at 2. 2 cards in hand also. Land's good, every spell good besides Blood Moon and Ring, I guess. Alright, so we have drawn an Aether Hub. Now, I think it's actually somewhat likely my opponent has another Consign or a Force of Negation as their last card here. It could be a land. Oh, sorry, I thought I had one more card in my yard. Never mind, then I'm going to cast the Ring because that's all I can do. Great analysis. So wait, one more card in the yard for Flage is what I meant to say. I was right about the card in hand. I had to read right, but I didn't have the number of cards in my graveyard correct. And unfortunately, also the Ring gets exiled, so we can't cast the Flage. Then we just draw an Arid Mesa, and everything is easy peasy. I think I might as well get a plane, so I have that extra energy available to me. Could be pretty relevant if I draw a Static Prison for the Leyline binding. But we'll see if they drew a counter here. They did. We still have a Ring in our hand. They're at 2 life. Don't think I'm playing around random Spell Pierce. I think I'd rather be able to draw into a Surveil land. Another counter spell off the top for our opponent. So now we are Hellbent. Opponent's still at 2 life. Did not brick on a draw. Okay, Prismatic ending my Bombardment. So we do have Juicy Gigantha, which can get hasted next turn. Fortunately, we cannot haste Guide of Souls. I've been ranting a lot about Gigantha on stream lately. It is very dumb that this card kind of just got errated to have haste with Arena of Glory. It's very dumb that a lot of decks just get to play Gigantha for free. Like, literally, like, this is a modern Showcase Qualifier. I just won that game because of Gigantha. My opponent would have had a full extra draw step, could have top decked Flage, could have top decked Solitude, and maybe won that game, but instead, I have won this game a turn sooner because of a stupid companion that I made no effort to deck build for. So, okay, my one Gigantha rant of the day. Okay, so in this matchup, I want to be bringing in an extra copy of the Ring, I think Thraben Charms for Flages and Leyline Bindings. And then usually I get kind of stuck on, do I want to play 1 Ghost Vacuum over 1 Galvanic Discharge? The Ghost Vacuum sucks up their Flages. It also can be like a weird late game card advantage card. I think it's probably pretty good. I like the 1 Moon. I don't really like Magus of the Moon against Jeskai. Seems like a good plan. You can hear the dogs wrestling in the background. Seems like a solid enough sideboard strategy. Did not play test against Jeskai very much. Kind of surprised to see people jamming it. I predicted that there would be maybe 1 or 2 Jeskai players. I do think Respect the Cat is, certainly one of those players I maybe should have guessed. Would have been on it. Okay, opponent's on the mold to 6. On the play. Definitely do not like to mulligan on the play against Energy when you play a fair deck or any deck. Now, I don't want to commit too bad into like a temporary lockdown or a Wrath of the Skies. I do think that I'm just going to go Sacred Foundry Bombardment this turn, though. Kind of want my opponent to play a Flage, where I can just like sack my cat. They don't get any life. Then I can type Respect the Cat, banter with my opponent, inflict some psychic damage, and then vacuum up the Flage. Okay, Pyroclasm. It's kind of nice too that like I just now get to like deploy my cards instead of being afraid of commitment. I might hold the vacuum for a turn just to be not so bad against like Lockdown or Wrath the Skies, which, you know, maybe not so common main deck, but could be more common post board. Although now that I see the ring on top, I just would love for my opponent to Wrath the Skies. that would be awesome if they spent their turn doing that. And didn't have a Force of Negation. So they have their own ring. Game probably comes down to Force of Negation or no. I think I'm going to start targeting my opponent's graveyard so that a Flage is a bit worse. Opponent's got protection from everything, so probably not attacking with my cat. Could have been good to maybe, you know, vacuum up the Ocelot Pride here. Probably doesn't matter too much. But like if they do Wrath the Skies, then like I would have preferred to sweep up their graveyard some. Okay, so they Teferi bounce my ring. 7 cards in their hand. I think if this ring gets countered, there's a chance I actually just and then like the sweeper, there's a chance that I just activate the Ghost Vacuum next turn. So let's go and attack this Teferi. I'm going to cast Guide of Souls and perform a little bit of a vibe check. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I will get double cat token here. I think I'm going to cast Johnny. It plays around Consign. Doesn't play around Snare very well. Yeah, did not play around Snare very well. But I also, again, I may be just going to Ghost Vacuum up the Ajani and like kill my opponent with Bombardment. That would be pretty nice. It's an activated ability too, so they can't consign, and then I could get just enough tokens to bombardment them out of this game. Might have been better to deploy Ring. I think I feel okay about the decision to play around Consign a little bit more than Snare, and also like this is the more valuable card, so I don't mind that so much either. Okay, so the question now is, do I want to... Yeah, I think I will go ahead and sacrifice just the cat tokens of my opponent here. I still want to make them sweep these, but I think there's a solid chance they're going to follow this up with a Verdict, so I think hedging our bets here a little bit is fine. Okay, it is a Flage, not a Sweeper, which kills my Guide of Souls instead of my Ocelot Pride. Thankfully, I can vacuum up the Flage. Let's Surveil. We draw another copy of Guide of Souls, which I think I'm just going to Graveyard. I can just kind of Ghost Vacuum it, maybe. I don't know if that's the best reason. But it also isn't doing like that much for me this turn either. Okay, so my ring does resolve. My opponent doesn't have a swamp in place, so they can't binding in response to the ring here, so it should be pretty safe to tap it. Did not draw anything relevant. But we do get to make a couple more cats, and even if my opponent deals with the ring next turn, I'm gonna I'm gonna be able to ghost vacuum. This makes token copies, right? Oh, it's not. Sorry, I haven't played a ton with ghost vacuum. It's not token copies. So if I activate this, I give them back Flage, then their Flage goes back to their graveyard. So I need to be aware of that. Good thing to have double checked. I could maybe vacuum up a Johnny though, and then I can flip the Johnny because it's not a token. Just triple check. Flying counter, not finality counter. Might bounce their own ring here. They bounce mine again. Yeah, they're at 7 life, ring on 4 counters, so I think we can probably assume they're just going to go land ring. If they go verdict or pyroclasm, they're kind of just dead to my ghost vacuum, right? It's like a little scary because if they can survive somehow, then they can escape Flage. I don't have another Surveil land. Right now I have an Ocelot Pride and I have a Flage. I think I'm going to vacuum up a Johnny. My opponent's going to discard 2 cards here. Yeah, I think I'm down for the vacuum line here. My opponent's going to have to like consign their own triggers. I'm also going to get the Kitty's Blessing, like a bunch of tokens in play. Should be fine. I think I will play this to thin my deck too. Yeah, they have to consign or like Solitude their own Solitude, and if they just don't have it, it's going to be tough. And it's going to be maybe tough for them to escape Flage and play a ring. Maybe not, but we'll see. So they do tap the ring. Not sure how many consigns there are in post board. Probably a good number, honestly, like 2 or 3. So it looks like Solitude is being evoked here, pitching a Solitude, and then another Solitude will happen. This one does get to exile something of mine, though. Goes after a Johnny. Oh, and then dies. All right, well. Don't know if that was a misclick or if Cat's just kind of doing whatever while you have some game actions to take, but bouncing back a little bit. I don't know. Like the fact that we just like had such a stumbly game 1 to still won was pretty crazy. Yeah, I will see y'all in round number 3. Bouncing back. Okay, showing up a little late for round 3. We have lost another die roll, so 1-2 in die rolls, although we'll see what happens. I've revealed Gigantha. And I seem to have an easy keep. My opponent mulligans. Keeperoo. Most of 5, so could be playing a combo deck. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're playing Demir Frog. Necro? Oopsal spells? I've not seen Necro in a while. This is pretty cool. Nice. Good hit. Right, they did mold a 5. Did they have turn 3 Necro? No. Huge problem for them. I think I'm going to cast my 3-drop on turn 3. Oh, does it really matter if I kill this with the Flage or kill this with the Raptor? One's got 2 cards in their hand. See what their follow-up is. So far, things are going pretty smooth with them mulling to 5 and me hitting this bombardment off the Raptor. So I cast my 1-drop on turn 1, my 2-drop on turn 2, my 3-drop on turn 3. How about my 4-drop on turn 4? Yeah, don't really care too much about this Spellmaster. Your turn. 2 cards in your hand. So we've got a Static Prison for the Shieldred. So I'm going to exile this, and then draw 2, get pinged twice. Didn't draw an untapped white source. Keeping this for second Shieldred could be good. I think my plan here probably is going to be to block the 4/4, then bolt it after first strike damage. Okay, they found their own ring. Interesting to see no attacks. Especially when they had protection. I think they're just going to be pretty dang dead, though. So we'll draw a couple cards, but I think they're just dead to me going Guide, Pride with the bombardment in play. I'll also Static Prison the Ring or whatever. Maybe their last card is Fatal Push, but not exactly in bad shape if that's the case, you know. Their last card is Fatal Push. So I think I'm going to attack with the Ocelot Pride here and make it look like I'm making a mistake. But because I'm attacking into ring protection. Okay, they don't fall for it. But if they had, we could have discharged this, right? It does seem to me that static prisoning their ring and just leaving them with no cards in their hand is going to be a prudent play. I'm also going to, maybe need to use this as like an energy ritual. Magic Online, be Magic Online. There we go. All right, I cast Ocelot Pride. Got the Flage for next turn. Got a ring with 3 counters. Got triple Ocelot Pride. Just easy breezing. All right, they drew a land. So up a game against the surprising Necro player. I played Necro Belcher one time. That's maybe why I stumbled over my words there. I think I might like the Thraben Charms to kill Necro at instant speed, which is pretty nice. I think my own copies of the ring will probably be pretty good. I think the static prisons are fine. I might want to trim 1 copy. I think I will trim 1 copy of Galvanic Discharge. And then, I don't know, but I think on the draw, I don't want the Blood Moon. I might want it on the play. It seems like a pretty good build. Deafening Silence is also kind of okay against them. I think I probably will not bring it in, but I have not played this matchup in a long time. Kind of a throwback, funny enough to say. Okay, reveal my free 5/5. Well, can't mulligan this on the draw against Necro. See if my opponent does go to 6. Theirs is a deck that does mulligan super aggressively. No fatal push. Nice. It's actually an incredible draw. Allows me to just counter a Necro basically here. I had a feeling I was going to draw something good. I think I'm not too scared of Bowmaster either here. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to. I don't think I'm supposed to Thraben Charm to kill the Bowmaster. I think my hand is just so good and so grindy that I could just trade here. Kind of surprised they double blocked like that, but whatever. Could just trade here and keep up the Thraben Charm for Necro. Nice. We get basic planes here. Might incept also that I have a Blood Moon in my hand in my deck, but I don't. And we seem to be in excellent shape. Don't think they're ever not attacking with this. I don't know if there was some strategy there that involved yeah, I'm just gonna target them. I don't know if there was some strategy there that involved it's trying to psych them out about a Ragavan. Probably overthinking it. So they have a Shieldred, so maybe me playing a ring is not so good. Although maybe it's fine. I guess those are the two options. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take two. I could take two. Your turn. Yeah, never took two before, kid. I mean, if they have a Necro, it is kind of a big problem, but just a ring, I guess. Not such a big problem. So you're down to 13, and I get pinged down to 11 from the Shieldred. The Static Prison, they're shielded before we Static Prison the ring, I think. Draw two. Is it better for me to go a Johnny plus Bombardment than it is for me? I think it's probably better for me to go with Johnny Bombardment than it is for me to Static Prison. Just this puts a really powerful Planeswalker in play that's tough for them to beat. They can draw two more cards. This is also a lot more mana efficient for me. Although I have to deal myself a damage. I guess that's not such a big deal. Could deal. I guess we could just deal the Ajani one instead, actually. Probably a bit better. I think it's okay to give them the extra couple cards. Like when they don't have Shielded in play, like Necro isn't that scary. This is kind of a pain for them to deal with. Seems fine. So they march my Ajani. They're at 20 life. That's my third card in the yard for Flage, though. Oh, sorry, my fourth card in the yard for Flage. Okay, I'm going to take 2 down to 9. Okay, that'll let me Flage, and, oh, getting Surgical. Doesn't seem like I have any recourse to this, so tapping the ring in response is probably not a good play. Since I might just put another Flage into my hand that gets exiled. 3 cards in their hand right now. So hopefully we can find a second Guide of Souls to lean a little bit in on life gain so we don't die to like double Soul Spike. I might need to... Yeah, I think I guess I need to just Legend Rule Ring. Since I don't want to be dead to double soul spike. Although I guess it does me tapping this put me dead to double soul spike. I suppose it does. Maybe that was a bad tap there. Yeah, it's not that likely they have it. They have to have Necro, basically. Okay, another copy of the ring. So we probably are going to sack this Static Prison, give them an extra card, but then Prison again. Save a little bit on energy costs, too. So I'm down to 8. I draw a copy of Ocelot Pride. For this Static Prison that's holding the Shieldred, of course, we'll pay an energy. And the other one, I will say... I guess we tap the ring first, but... Say no to this. Draws have not exactly been too helpful. Haven't found another Ajani or another Guide of Souls. Oh, they have protection, so not that not that attacking really punishes me for anything, I guess. If they like Soul Spike or March my Ocelot Pride, I'm definitely gonna kill it or I guess I'm not sure if it's gonna be better for me to discharge and gain some extra energy for these static prisons or just sack it to bombardment, because this could be my answer to Shieldred. I would definitely sack it to bombardment and just get 3 energy if they killed the Pride. Meat Hook Massacre. So yeah, I think that I will keep this Galvanic Discharge in my hand as an answer to a possible Shieldred. Instead of casting it now for 3 energy for the prisons. I don't think I need to kill this with my Thraben Charm. I'm going to 7. Which means I'm not dead to a single Soul Spike after the ring damage. But I am going to need to draw some action. Kind of feels like they do have a Soul Spike. Third and final bombardment. Not exactly ideal. Did they have a Bowmaster? No Bowmaster. And thankfully there's some life gain here. Some energy too. Although it's possible that if they have a removal spell here, we could definitely be in bad shape. Oh, I get my life gain trigger. Was not expecting that to happen. So hopefully we get 2 more life gain triggers here, going up to 7. Or sorry, up to 8. Huh. So why has my opponent done this? Why have they waited to to cast this Bowmaster until after my Ocelot Pride trigger goes on this deck? Oh, they forgot to set a stop. Okay, well, good thing they answered my question for me. So I guess I do need to check something. So if I kill this Orcish Bowmaster, I'm gonna go down to I'm gonna go up to 8 off the Ocelot Pride, and then I'm gonna go down to 5 off the ring trigger, which means that if I don't Thraben Charm this Meat Hook Massacre, then I would be dead to a Soul Spike. And I did kind of get the vibe that they have a Soul Spike here. They're also gonna gain some extra life that we get to stop like this. Oh, but they target me so that I'm dead to Soul Spike now. That makes sense. Was this a bluff? Forgot to set stop? Might have been. Did I punt by? I guess I could have let the Bowmaster resolve. For some reason, I was worried about like them doing something, killing my stuff in response, but maybe that was a little bit irrational. Yeah, and then here comes the Soul Spike. So now I'm at 3. This ring damage is on the stack, and I don't believe that I have any way to gain life at instant speed here. I mean, of course I don't, but might as well bluff that I do. Yeah, gonna go to game 3. Well played by our opponent. Okay, so game 3 on the play. Don't think I'd like to make any changes. I don't think I want the moon on the play. They're playing a lot of basic swamps. Some builds just play a lot of MDFCs, but they seem to have a lot of swamps. There might have been a turn to go for Giganta there, although I don't know if it was going to be super relevant. Okay, I'm going to mulligan my one lander. Keep this one. Let's put back the Static Prison this time. My opponent has also gone to 6. 4 mulligans and 4 mulligans in 4 games. 3 games, sorry. Roll to 5. 5 mulligans in 3 games. I might have won that game if I didn't like trade Guide of Souls for Bowmaster really early to him. I think it was okay. Like, it's important to pressure their life total, and I had like such a grindy hand. I was like really like leaning on the Flage, but then the Flage got surgical. Kind of an interesting game. Right, cast Raptor pre-combat, so maybe we will jump the Guide of Souls if we brick. They do have the Fatal Push, and I will bolt them. I'm down to 15. I think they would have cast Bowmaster if they had it already. Notably, we can't Galvanic Discharge a Shieldred without getting 1 more energy. My opponent seems to not have a Necro, or maybe they're scared of Thraben Charm. We get to Surveil. Sometimes I get like visions of the future. I feel like I'm going to Surveil Flage into the yard and then it's going to get surgical. Okay. No, that was a daydream, it seems. All right, let's attack for 2. Every damage really, really relevant against Necro. Just, you know, they need life to play with. Untap the ring on their upkeep here. That way, if they have Bowmaster, they would have to either cast it in response, which they didn't, or draw. You know, we're not going to give it a window for them to draw it for turn. Another land, though. Good news is they just can't get rid of this in their mono black deck. Ooh, a Shizo. Cool. Is this card better? This card is probably not better than a swamp in this very, very Blood Moon heavy world, I would guess. Huh. So not super duper ideal. We at least draw this Aether Hub so that we could discharge a top decked Shieldred, and of course my opponent is not doing anything, which is always nice. I think They have a surgical in their hand. Don't know how easy that could be to play around this game. They found their own ring, though. I feel like they're probably suspecting that I have Static Prison ready to go for this ring, but I, don't have a lot of anything. I'm down to 12. I draw 3 fresh ones. That's some action. Let's see what Amped Raptor brings us home for Christmas. Although I might occasionally tap the Aether Hub for red. My hand is very red. Guide of Souls is one of the better hits here. So I'm going up to 15 and then down to 11. So, I mean, I could, in theory, die to, like, triple Soul Spike. It would be pretty tough, though. Also, my opponent, like, probably couldn't draw that many cards, right? Because I just have 6 points of damage here. Hard to feel too bad about this spot. This is GG. GG to you too. Okay, we are 2-1 in the Modern Showcase Qualifier. Glad that we're making a little bit of a run here. I will see y'all in round number 4. Okay, so good news is we won the die roll. The bad news is it's against Canister. Amazing player, very good. And we're only main decking the 1 Blood Moon. Hand's pretty close. Think I'm going to keep it on the play. If I had more Blood Moons, maybe you could try to mulligan into it, knowing that he is almost definitely on Titans. Pretty nice, but I think I just have to keep this for a pretty aggressive start on the play and hope for the best. Game 1. Then when I bring in the Maguses and stuff, can mulligan a bit more aggressively. Turn 1 Grazer. Turn 1 double Grazer. Incredibly rare draw. I don't know if I've ever seen the turn 1 double Arboreal Grazer. I do think I'm going to Surveil here instead of discharging myself, which I think could be a line. We'll go through the motions here. Probably kind of a waste of time, honestly. So a turn 2 ring from Amulet Titan is pretty scary, and I don't have a Galvanic Discharge. Sorry, I don't have a Static Prison. I do have I do have Galvanic Discharges, and now I have a Static Prison though, which is very lucky. Not a huge point in attacking right now, I think. I do think there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna ritual with the Galvanic Discharge for 3 energy. So untap Lotus Field, sacking 2 lands here. Just graveyarding that, I guess. Now I think I'll be killing a Grazer. My own copy of the ring. I actually think that it's going to be more important for me to be pressuring my opponent this turn. However, I do also think that it's good for me to hold up Discharge to kill a Titan. So I'm just going to jump one of my 2 Guide of Souls, hit my opponent down to 16, then down to 15 here on this trigger. I sometimes like to do this thing where I F6 against Titan to make it look like I don't have the removal spell. Then I turn off the F6 to actually kill the creature. Sacking map in response to the Splunking is pretty cool line. Reveals an Urza's Cave. Gains 4 from the Splunking, which is pretty gross. And we're the aggro deck here. I'm gonna escape my Flage. My Discharge is pretty telegraphed, but I don't think that matters so much. I'm not gonna jump the Guide of Souls. I think it's more important just to have it up still. Probably pretty cooked. I'm sure Canister knows I have the Discharge. I can take my time to think about this play here. It probably doesn't matter very much. I think I'm very unlikely going to be able to defeat a Cultivator Colossus with 7 cards in hand, but I do kind of feel like potentially the best way for me to do that would be our opponent fizzling really hard here, so I think I might as well slam this here. We're pretty dead. Thankfully, I've got a bunch of Magus of the Moons on the board. All right, let's go to game 2. So, Magus of the Moons come in, rings go out. Now, I think I do want to play maybe one copy of Stony Silence. This is something I was kind of like stuck on in my general sideboard plan here. Also, the Three of Charms also coming in. The Great Graveyard Hate and Exile, or Destroy Enchantment and Graveyard Hate, both relevant. Also, removal spell for Titans sometimes. Um, but I think I wanted to play like one Galvanic Discharge, two Thraben Charms, Static Prisons, and then I wasn't sure if I wanted second Galvanic Discharge or the first Stony. It's my like one decision point still. I think I could play the first Stony for the rings. Seems okay. Okay, on the play. I revealed Gigantha. I think I'm going to be mulliganing pretty aggressively to a moon here. We have four of them. We have the London mulligan. Let's utilize that. Okay, well. I think we should keep this on 5. Hopefully we can surveil into second land. If not, you know, I don't think I should have gone to 4 in this situation. Painful. That's Magic the Gathering, I guess. Not out of it yet. We can go runner land. Step 1. Guess we also could just hit a moon off the Amp Raptor. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? We hit a Magus Moon off Amp Raptor. Probably want to play the Ocelot Pride so that we're getting a lot of energy. I think a goal of mine here should be to jump the Magus of the Moon with my Guide of Souls so that it has 4 toughness and survives Pyroclasms, Fire Spout type effect that Canister usually plays some copies of. All right, so let's go ahead and Static Prison the ring. And jump the Magus of the Moon here. Oh my gosh, I didn't attack with the Ocelot Pride. Sorry, they have protection. Duh. Get a little spazzy. Just tweaking. Okay, taps the ring. I probably will Legend Roll the ring here with Static Prison, just deploy another one here. Too bad we had the Graveyard with Stony Silence, but what can you do? Does give Canister an extra card. I think whenever we jump, we can jump next turn. I don't know, maybe jumping the Guide of Souls to reduce the impact of a sweeper could be correct here. Certainly hoping not to see a third ring. So lucky, no third ring. Okay, let's go to combat. I think I'm going to be jumping the Guide of Souls to get it out of Fire Spout range. Seems a bit better than putting the counters on anything else. Getting Vampire's Vengeance instead. I did kind of forget that was. I mean, I'm still going to spend the energy there. Maybe I did get very punished for not spinning at the turn prior, huh? We have another 3-mana 2/2. We will be giving the ring back, I think, temporarily. 7 cards in our opponent's hand. 3-turn clock. Discards Cultivator Colossus to the blood token from Vampire's Vengeance. Splunking number 3. I'm kind of surprised Titan lists are playing this many Splunkings. I'm not exactly questioning it, but my Titan testing, I don't know. I did do a decent amount of it, but I could definitely feel some inexperience with the archetype, and I didn't exactly feel like I had the time to master everything. I think I'm just gonna cast a Johnny. I'm almost like don't even mind the ring being around at this point. Could just be wrong, but I think that the ring damage is gonna stack up pretty hard, and I want to end this game. And the Static Prison removing a blocker might just be the best thing here. Outside of Canister having double Vampire's Vengeance, which will be pretty tough with a one already being played, we should be pretty safe. There's one. I mean, famous last words, I guess. Sacks the blood token, maybe looking for that vengeance. Give me a close one. Explores. Yeah, so me leaving this ring in play gives me lethal next turn. So I think I'm just going to play another Magus and pass. My third Magus. If Canister's only answer to it is Vampire Vengeance, it's not really doing much, but I guess Dismember is also offline too. I see some builds playing Pognify, but Pognify is mostly better against Harbinger, right? Because you can tap blue mana for it. Doesn't exactly deal with the Magus of the spot. 11 cards in Canister's hand now. We can Static Prison a Grazer that would be able to block, although would still die to ring damage in the spot. Okay. Despairing a little bit after our tough mulligan to 5. Did not think we were going to get there, but managed to take a breath and get there. You know what? I think I should probably be playing fewer Flages. I'm going to play second Stony Silence, second Galvanic Discharge of the draw. All right. Let's go. Well, we could have a lot of faith in our Amtraptors, but we don't have the second land. I'm just going to mulligan. Go to 5. Gotta go 4. No Moon in my 4-card hand. Would I keep 2 lands Magus over Arid Mesa, Guide of Souls? Yeah, I think I'd keep 2 lands Magus. Alright. Seems we're keeping 3 lands. Pretty likely to have hit a Moon effect here. Might still cast one on turn 3. Don't want to give up yet. Gonna be a little bit tougher on the mold 3. No extra help this time around. I think I will Surveil here instead of getting second planes. A Magus and a Dream here. Mold a 3. Now, because Magus came down after the Dryad, all of these are just mountains here. It's a little bit of a weird layers thing, but whichever one is played second is applied. So if the Dryad came down after the Magus, then um, these are top for any color. Okay, so in this spot, it seems like I should play the Bombardment so that next turn I can go Flage, sack the Flage to Bombardment, kill the Dryad. A little bit punished for not getting second planes. Felt like the Surveil was pretty important at the time. Good news that there was no Ring and no Vampire's Vengeance last turn. Well, our luck on that front has run out, unfortunately. Would have been great to survive one more turn. I do think if I draw Guide of Souls, I'm not going to play Flage. I'm just going to go Guide of Souls, Discharge as a ritual, and jump the Magus. Not that that is now an option. You just already have the Vampire's Vengeance. Not yet. We're alive. So in this spot, I'm going to Static Prison the Ring to stop Canister from drawing the Vengeance, hopefully. Could be another ring in hand already. We also kind of have an interesting dynamic. Damn it. Where I was saying that we kind of had the option to sack our Magus and then attack with the Flage. Out of Strail lands too. Now, you know, we're probably going to lose. It is what it is. Titan is a deck that has the capability of being very flooded, though, so it is. I mean, it's also very tough to like avoid the Oda War on the Flage. 7 cards are in my opponent's hand here. They're dead to the Flage attack for whatever that's worth. Although floats the Otawara here. Maybe just Otawara is the ring and replays it. Shifting Woodland Dryad. It's kind of great news for me that this is the line Canister chose to take here. I'm going to take 6. I think I want to bait Canister into playing a little bit more into this Dryad. Kind of think this is Scape Shift, so I think I want to bait the Scape Shift. Yeah. So if I was a total scumbag, I'd say GG. Just bait. Caster would have nothing. I think it's not gonna be too tough for him to still play around this discharge, but we'll see if he does or not. I don't think there's really any way for me to win this outside of hope. Yeah, and I guess I didn't think about the mirror pool here, being able to come down and be able to offer the copy of the Dryad. I think I might as well go through the motions, but seems like I lose to mirror pool. Seems like I lose to the Teleria West. Seems like I lose. So it doesn't copy. Is going to kill me with the Teleria West potentially. I will. I'll wait to be killed here. It's Lumra. Yes, the Lumra will bring back the shifting woodland. It also brings back the T West. I always forget why they copy the Lumra. I guess I don't know if he's just going to be able to like Urza's Cave for the haste land. Oh, is it it's to copy with Mirror Pool to do the loop? Guess that makes more sense. I'm gonna give Canister the GGs. We are dead here. Okay, so we are 2-2. It is now very unlikely that we make the top 8. I was doing the math. It looks like 3 4-2s will make it in, and there's like 6 people here who have dropped at 0-2, 4 people who have dropped at 1-2. So it does actually seem like the competition for those slots might be a little low. So maybe a little bit of a higher chance to make it, despite losing kind of early. I will play out these last 2 rounds, but it is unlikely to make top 8 at this point. GG's Canister. Okay, so my recording for round 5 got corrupted. I'm not really sure why this is. I think it might have been a storage space, but don't worry, y'all didn't really miss much. I lost to Green Red Eldrazi, and I'm out of the Modern Showcase Qualifier. A bummer, I'll say it. This was a tournament I was looking forward to for a long time. It's cool to be able to participate in this. Hopefully, I can grind some more for next season and play in one of the championships. I will say, I built this build of energy to be kind of good in the mirror match. I'm not playing Ragavan. I'm playing Force Flage, 3 bombardments, but I didn't play the mirror one time, so maybe I misread the metagame. I kind of figured that there was going to be a lot of Boros at this tournament. Maybe there was, and I just didn't play against any of the players. Kind of interested to see the metagame breakdown at the end of this. I will also say, I have not really been enjoying the dynamic of Modern, which is build or brew a big mana deck, build or brew a combo deck, or play Boros Energy. I don't think that the Mere Frog deck is very good. I don't think Control is very good. I don't think traditional aggro decks are very good, because of just how effective the energy deck is against them. So I'm hopeful that when the ban announcement happens in a couple weeks, things get better. I am tired also of waiting for this ban announcement. These like scheduled bans are just so bad. I'm probably going to do a longer YouTube video talking about this, but you can expect some content for different formats over the next couple weeks. I might play some non-Magic games, just get like a little weird with it, just try to have fun while we wait for the modern format to get its patch notes. That is to say, except for tomorrow, if you're watching this video on November 30th, 2024, Tomorrow, Magic Online is hosting a tournament in my name, Aspiring Spikes Modern Madness, and Madness is definitely the right the right characterization for how the format is at the moment. So I'm gonna have some fun. I'm not gonna play Energy tomorrow. I'm gonna try to play a fun deck. I might play Jund Delirium. I might play Simic Woodlands. I might play Simic God Pharaoh's Gift. We'll see. I'm gonna try to win a Jade Avenger avatar. Really excited for that. Cool that they put this up here. But after tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be focused on like recording YouTube videos, working on standard, maybe playing some vintage, maybe playing some legacy. Probably not playing much Pioneer, maybe playing some Dark Souls, Balatro, all that stuff until December 16th for the ban announcement. So I hope you enjoyed this video too. I will say that the recording like a high stakes tournament I think is really cool. Usually in the past I would try to stream with a hand hider or stream with a delay, but the big problem is people can still just like see what deck I'm playing, and it's also good to just be able to like stop the recording, go relax for like 20 minutes in between rounds, really decompress. So I feel like that was good for my mental game today. So you can maybe expect more videos like this. If you have any feedback on the format, anything you want to see differently, let me know. I was gonna maybe hire an editor to like spice it up and make it more interesting if the tournament had gone better, but I don't know if I really want to do that for an event that I went 2 and 3, but maybe I'll do that in the future if I do spike one of these. So thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.